Two. Hear it into it, too. On your Clippers, out of network. I didn't think he got it in.
There has to be an angle where his hand's still on the ball. It might be a situation, guys, where there just wasn't enough to overturn it. Maybe it's that close. Oh, my God. Daniel, what did you see on TV back there? That's what it is. Oh.
Oh, man. That is brutal.
Oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Chat, what did you guys see? Too close to overturn? Oh. That would have been a comeback for the ages. Oh. Pain. Oh, my goodness. They waited too long, guys. I don't know what took them so long to lock in, but that took far too long for the Clippers to engage in this ball game. That's what the game was lost in my mind. Oh, my goodness. Unreal. Well, for many of you who thought this series was over, we're not even close. It's a best out of 3 now with Denver having home court.
Oh.
Unreal. Unreal. Never seen anything like it. It's... I'm thinking Ron Artest put back on a Kobe miss in 2010 against Phoenix. It's that type of play. That's the first one that comes to mind. The Clippers come back down 20 entering the fourth quarter. Comes up short as it's a painful, heartbreaking loss here at Intuit Dome in Game 4 as Aaron Gordon was able to retrieve a missed three-pointer by Nikola Jokic that was wide left, and the putback counted. Clippers lose 101-99 to Denver off an Aaron Gordon tip-in putback dunk to win the game that was reviewed. It was upheld. Clippers lose by 2, and we're tied up at 2 games apiece in this best of 7 first-round series. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Moslin. Coming up, second half highlights, maybe a low light in there as well. Your final box score and more. But first, we head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, high drama maybe was an understatement. The Clippers' fast and furious comeback comes up short with just an inexplicable putback from Aaron Gordon and an all-time ending in a playoff game, unfortunately, that goes against the Clippers.
Yeah, and it's just, you think about all the momentum they had, finally able to take a lead, the ability to come back down 22, down 20, starting the fourth, and you led in that game at one point. But the Clippers just needed one more box out at the end. I mean, you don't want to get down this rabbit hole, but if Jokic shot hits the rim, game's in overtime, right? I mean, if it's not an air ball,
He even misses perfectly.
Yeah, it's just
Was it intentional? It's Nikola Jokic. You
no,
might say after, that was a pass.
that's a shot. That's a shot. It's a tough one for the Clippers because Adam, you lose by 2. And whenever you lose by a possession, there's just so many different plays you think back to about where this game was lost. But overall, the Clippers, and Ty Lue talked about in his pregame press conference, the lack of focus to start the game really did them in, especially in that third quarter where Denver held them to 17 points and scored 35. That's where this game is lost. I mean, I know you feel like you lose it on the last possession, but you lose it when you go down 22, and then you have to climb all the way back into the game. They only took 1 lead all game. They held Denver to 0 fast break points since the middle of the second quarter. I thought that was excellent in this game, but the Nuggets, 22 second chance points and just 2 too many in what has been a series for heart-stopping games time and time again. And now, Adam, the Clippers have to stare reality in the face, which is, look, you got to win 2 games of the next 3, and you got at least or 2 of them in Denver. Hopefully, just 1 for this Clipper team.
We talked about it early in the ball game, Carlo. I don't know if it was the mid-afternoon start. I don't know if it was starting a game just 40 hours after game 3, but there's no excuses to the Clippers starting as slow and lethargic as they did in this ball game, where it looked like they were stuck in cement until the fourth quarter started, when they should have been more out of gas. That was the point where all of a sudden the Clippers found their sea legs. They were aggressive. They were in attack mode. Kawhi had multiple dunks. James Harden was getting downhill. They were running high pick and roll. It just felt like it took far too long for them to engage and lock in. It was strange.
It really was. I mean, it looked like this Clipper team did not have the ability to find a way to be in the ball game on both ends of the floor, get stops defensively, attack offensively. It took until they were down 20 to be able to move the ball into the front court, get downhill. Harden's pick and rolls got to work. Norman Powell had 1 3 all game, knocks down 3 in the fourth quarter, and the Clippers really just took a step too long to turn it on late. Now the Clips, Adam, with 2 losses in this series by a combined 4 points. That's got to hurt if you're this Clipper team.
Yeah, and this victory was waiting for them here in this game 4. I don't know if they felt like that too, but their defense was strong for the most part. Offensively is where things were lacking in this ball game. Outside of the fourth quarter, this Clippers team, they were shooting under 40% before the final 12 minutes. They were shooting under 30% from the outside, and they end up with just 99 points. And I don't even know if this was so much about what the Denver Nuggets were doing on the defensive end. It just seemed like this Clippers team, for whatever reason, they were just slow to react to everything. I did not like the mindset coming out in this ball game, and there was a kind of undercurrent going on here at Intuit Dome where you saw Nikola Jokic find himself early in the first half. He started 6 of 7, but it didn't feel like that maybe, that he really had the magnet ball going, because he didn't string together 10 points in the span of 2 minutes. It was just him methodically getting his scoring going, finding his touch out there, and then later in the second half, at times he looked absolutely unstoppable. But it started early, and I think the possession that really sunk the Clippers in this ball game when you lose by 2 is the end of the first quarter. With 1.9 seconds left, the Clippers try a full court pass on the out of bounds play on the far sideline from James Harden, looking for Ivica Zubac on the other end of the court underneath the basket. Well, he throws it over his head. It goes out of bounds. Denver gets the final shot of the first quarter. It's a Nikola Jokic 3 from 30 feet out. Clippers lose this game by 2. It gave Jokic confidence with his outside shot. And ultimately, I think that's the difference in the ball game. I honestly think it goes back to that first quarter.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It felt like that was a turning point for Jokic to get going on the offensive end. I mean, Adam, 36 points, 21 rebounds. This was the Jokic game we had talked about. We had been waiting for. He was aggressive with 25 shot attempts in this contest. You mentioned it earlier, but last game, Jokic just 14 attempts on the game. The Clippers allowed him to get going, a little too soft on the defensive end with their approach. I thought they were much more physical in the second half, Adam, being able to be up into touch, being able to cut him off when he got switches. But in the beginning of the game, just let him get anywhere he wants. And now if you're the Clippers, I think, Adam, what the positive you take away from this is you were down 22, you looked dead in the water, and Denver was probably, and I know they have momentum, but going to just run away with things into game 5. If you're the Clippers, you're 2 shots away from sweeping this series and it being over. Now, if you're Denver, you could say you're a shot away from being up 3-1, right? That's how good this series has been so far. But for the Clippers, they found something, whatever that was down the stretch, whatever that was in that fourth quarter, they found something. Ty Lue's going to watch the tape. They have 2 days. They are going to figure it out. And whatever worked for them in the fourth, I imagine will work down the stretch. This was a Clipper game that it's a heartbreaker, but they dominate the final quarter 34-16, similar to Norman Powell having an excellent fourth quarter in game 2 that bleeds into an excellent game 3. Can the Clippers have an excellent fourth quarter as a team here in game 4, and can that propel them in game 5? That's going to be the key.
You hope so, because they played the right way in the fourth quarter. It just took far too long to get there, too little, too late, and it ends up with an Aaron Gordon winner on a putback. Second chance points are always a killer. Nikola Jokic missed the game-winning three-pointer. Aaron Gordon was there to back up his guy with the game-winning putback dunk there. Clippers lose 101-99 here at Intuit Dome in game 4 to the Denver Nuggets in dramatic fashion, to say the least. Game 5 back in Denver is on Tuesday. Clippers on the road, back in the Lions' Den, tipping off at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have your pregame show back here at 6. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. Tough one. Hopefully the Clippers find a way to put it together for 48 minutes on Tuesday, because they're going to need to.
You got to win that game 5 if you're this Clipper team. You can't go down 3-2, having to win a game 7. That's going to feel like a must-win for the Clippers, no doubt about it. The biggest thing is, Adam, can they bring that fourth quarter focus for 4 quarters? We've seen this Clipper team blow out Denver, and now we've seen them lose a game late where they had a lead late. I have to believe that's going to build something for them, and you feel like down the stretch, look, this is a Clipper team that's going to learn from this. They're going to propel forward. Look at this as a fourth quarter learning experience. They could have easily lost this game by 20 or more. They lose by just 2. Now can you go out and dominate game 5? That's going to be the key.
Clippers will regroup and get set for Tuesday night in Denver, 7 p.m. tip time. Coming up next, second half highlights. Clippers lose an absolute heartbreaker, a gut punch here at Intuit Dome after rallying to be up after trailing by 20 entering the fourth quarter. They lose on a game-winning putback dunk by Aaron Gordon, 101-99 here at the Dome. Coming up next, second half highlights. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Let's go. Oh.
Yeah, guys, I don't know why James Harden's in their post at that possession either. I got to be honest.
Thanks, Daniel.
Got you. Do you got the final call? Because we're going to need it. I don't get it. It reminds me of Reggie Jackson being in the game and guarding Luka Doncic in the bubble for a game winner in some ways. I don't get it. There was a timeout. Maybe because Harden's post defense. Maybe. I'm assuming somebody's going to ask the question afterwards, because I don't know, guys. Batum, Ben Simmons, I don't get it. Live, I thought for sure the ball was on his hands. It's an all-time game winner, and you hope doesn't define this series, because the Clippers just let one slip. So I told you all day yesterday, saying they're only up 2-1. If they lose game 4, all you guys that are saying this series is over are going to flip real quick. To be honest, They battled back, and that was great to see, but they never should have been in that position. Down by 22. Their offense was stuck in mud. It was nasty. I don't know what we were watching out there. Aaron Gordon, known for his leaping ability, has been in dunk contests before, but has never had a bigger dunk in his career than what he just had to win this game for the Denver Nuggets. 101 to 99 off the miss from Nikola Jokic. Aaron Gordon skies and puts it home for the Denver Nuggets to win this one by 2 to create a 2-game apiece, knotted up series with the Denver Nuggets having home court now again in a best of 3. Clippers have to find a way to respond in Game 5 on Tuesday night. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. It's your Clippers post-game show. Coming up, we'll get to your final box score. Second half highlights, though, here. Clippers were only down by 2 at the half, and I thought they were fortunate to be, because the offense was just nasty by them. I thought it was more about what they weren't doing on the offensive end, especially between their stars. Kawhi Leonard was just 4 of 11 in the first half. James Harden was 2 of 4. He got up 4 shots. There was a lack of aggression out there. I know a lot of you guys want to talk about the free throw disparity. I get it. The Clippers only took 3 in the first half. The Denver Nuggets attempted 12. There were some curious calls. I also don't feel like that's the reason the Clippers lost this ball game at all. They didn't play the right way. And in that third quarter, things didn't get any better. The Denver Nuggets went plus 18. And the Clippers just were stuck in first or second gear. Offensively, they couldn't get anything to go. They scored just 17 points in the third quarter. Denver outscored them 35 to 17, and they had a 20-point lead heading into the fourth. And we thought the Clippers might have another miraculous comeback, a playoff version of a Clips comeback. Well, we saw this happen in the fourth. The Clippers would get it down and eventually take the lead after a Bogdan Bogdanovic putback layup off a Kawhi Leonard miss from 3, 97-96. First lead of the ballgame for the Clippers occurred with 1:11 left. I thought the top was going to blow off of Intuit Dome with how loud it was here. But it would be a tie game with 8 seconds left after Ivica Zubac got a putback to go off a James Harden missed shot. We were tied up at 99, 8 seconds left. Denver basketball. Here's your final call. The call was reviewed. It was upheld. Basket good. Clippers lose 101-99 after a spirited comeback comes up short on an Aaron Gordon putback dunk to beat them in game 4. And this series is tied up at 2 games apiece. Clippers going back to Denver on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. tip for game 5. Coming up next here on our postgame show, we'll get to your final box score. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Check, check, check. Jake, should I be hearing anything? Because I'm not. No. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. I hear it now. No, I don't. No, I don't. No. We're coming back. I don't hear anything. I can jump on the other one if it's easier, whatever. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check. Danny, you got us? Jake was clutch. I think it was Mr. T and Rocky 3 who just said, pain. That's what it feels like right now here at Intuit Dome. After an Aaron Gordon put-back dunk to beat the Clippers off a strategic miss from Nikola Jokic. No, I think he just missed. The double came. He was wide left, just a bit outside, but perfect placement for Aaron Gordon to be there. Johnny on the spot. Right place, right time. Clippers lose on an Aaron Gordon dunk. You know, he missed a dunk at the end of game 2, if you remember. He would not miss this one. I thought live, there's no way his fingers weren't still on the basketball. Well, apparently they were off of it. And the Clippers somehow lose this game after a spirited comeback, comes up short. Never really should have been in that position where you're down by 20 heading into the fourth quarter. In some ways, I almost want to forget the comeback. I won't be able to because it was exhilarating. But just to make it less painful, sometimes you'd rather just get blown out. That's the truth. Because this is just an absolute punch to the gut right now. This one stings more than, well, many playoff losses I have seen. It feels similar to Luka Doncic in the bubble. I wasn't in Orlando when he hit that shot over Reggie Jackson, but Clippers had a chance then to take a stranglehold on the series. They had a chance tonight, even with being down 20. They came back, but probably deserved to lose this ball game. There's going to be some questions post game on who was out there personnel wise for that final possession when the Clippers have had issues boxing out. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to defend the roster that was out there as 2 Denver Nuggets were underneath the basket against James Harden. Christian Brown was there as well. Aaron Gordon was there. But obviously, when a double goes to Nikola Jokic, it's going to leave somebody open. The double came late when they knew Jokic was going to put it up. It is unfortunate. I don't want this to turn into Robert Horry's shot over the Sacramento Kings or anything like that in 2002. But right now, people are down bad. I try to tell you guys that we're riding a little bit too high after them only being up 2-1. Everything changes if Denver finds a way to win Game 4. And for the most part, they dominated this game. And the Clippers didn't even show up. They showed up late. They had a chance still to win. Aaron Gordon took it away from them with a putback dunk to win it 101-99. We'll take a timeout. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until Tuesday. Clippers back in Denver for Game 5 as this series is tied up at 2 games apiece. 7 p.m. tip, pregame at 6. In LA, don't go anywhere. We got Clippers talk next. Daniel, what time are we going till? I'm sorry? 7? Okay. Guys, we got you for the next 45 minutes here. Clippers were bad in this game. I am so disappointed in the way they played the first 3 quarters. Where was the urgency? Where was that level of professionalism we talked about where they didn't have many games like this season where it just looked like they didn't show up? There's another team out there, of course, but the Clippers offense was nasty. Nasty. I just can't believe how poorly you guys want to talk about like Chris Dunn and stuff. Why don't we talk about the stars? Why don't we talk about Kawhi and Harden before we start with anybody else? Chris Dunn missed shots. His defense was still great. He was still getting great boards. Maybe they could have used him at the very end because he got boards. Like, we really going to talk about Chris Dunn? James Harden was 2 of 4 in the first half. Kawhi Leonard was 4 of 11. I'm not hearing Chris Dunn stuff. Starts at the top. Oh my goodness, the amount of people in here that were telling me yesterday this series was over. I told you, Adam, Clips in 5. Denver's done. They're defeated and all this. And I'm like, guys, it's 2-1. They win 1 game and it's best out of 3 with them having home court. Clippers with a loss that stings. Hopefully not past this series. Hopefully this is not the series-defining win because Game 4 was won on a putback dunk from Aaron Gordon as the Clippers came back down 20 just to lose by 2 in the fourth quarter here at Intuit Dome, 101-99. An absolute heartbreaker in a game where the Clippers didn't show up the first 3 quarters. I got to be honest with you. Even when they were down by 2 in the first half, I just didn't like the way they were playing. Where was the urgency? Where was the toughness? It was very physical early on. And yes, the Denver Nuggets got 12 free throws to 3 attempted by the Clippers in the first half. It was still only a 2-point game. I just felt like offensively, the Clippers weren't good enough. I didn't feel that was so much of what Denver was doing. I felt like the Clippers weren't executing very well. For James Harden to get up 4 shots in the first half in almost 19 minutes, that is incomprehensible. For Kawhi to be 4 of 11, he had a turnover to start the game. People want to look at other players tonight and talk about Chris Dunn went 1 of 6 from 3, 1 of 9 overall. Chris Dunn, at least when he was out there, played really good defense and had some keyboards. A lot of them would turn into misses, even when we got offensive rebounds. And yeah, he was off with a shot. I'm going to start with the stars in this game. I think the stars and Coach Lue. I know everybody wants to talk about it. The personnel that was out there at the end of regulation in a game that we thought might go into overtime. Nope. Aaron Gordon, I guess his fingertips weren't on the basketball as he got the biggest dunk of his career, and he's had plenty to go. He missed a dunk in game 2 that killed them. He gets it back in game 4, and we're back to being tied up. Brand new series. Best out of 3, and the Denver Nuggets have home court. I am proud that the Clippers battled back and finally flipped the switch in the 4th. I have no idea why it took so long. No idea. From their stars especially. Maybe because Kawhi was in foul trouble earlier on. He had 2 at the half. And they were 2 curious fouls, I think both on Aaron Gordon. They were just battling in the post. There wasn't much going on there. No, the Clippers didn't get a great whistle. They also have to be culpable for not coming out and playing the right way from the first quarter on. Until the 4th quarter, this Clippers team was unrecognizable on the offensive end. Defensively, they were good, but they looked gassed and lethargic to start the game. I called it a smelling salts type of game, where the Clippers just needed to wake up. They finally did by about the time maybe they thought this game would have started. But I'm not going to blame a 3 p.m. tip. Denver was dealing with it as well. I just don't know why it took so long to engage and for them to play desperate basketball. Because I saw it from Denver right away. They were playing hard. And I'm not saying the Clippers were miserable on the defensive end in the first half. I thought they played hard. Offensively, though, at times, there was just no flow. Why weren't they running more high pick and roll until the 4th quarter? They spammed it then. Almost every shot in the 4th quarter from when James Harden came in was created out of the high pick and roll. It's always there. Denver has no way to defend it. What took so long? I have no idea where this Clippers team was the first 3 quarters of this game on the offensive end. Where was the game plan discipline? But if James Harden and Kawhi Leonard are going to start this game, 6 for 15? You're going to have trouble. I mean, coming into the 4th quarter, their 2 stars were 8 of 21 from the field. You could afford one of them having an off game, but both of them like that? And Harden only taking 6 shots heading into the 4th? What is going on? He played 31 minutes and only taken 6 shots. Hey, if somebody else was cooking, great. They weren't. Maybe they could have got to Ivica Zubac a little bit more. He was 6 of 11 at that point. So Zoo heading into the 4th is 6 of 11. Kawhi and James Harden are 8 of 21. Where I think this game was lost? Early in the first quarter. Early in the first quarter, I thought this was a clear sign the Clippers just weren't focused. So they have a turnover to start the game, as I mentioned earlier. It was by Kawhi. It's a bad turnover, careless turnover. And it was a sign, I guess, of things to come with their offense, even though I think in the ball game, they ended up with just 10 turnovers. They had half of them in the first quarter. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Why are they sleepwalking into a ball game when you have a chance to take a stranglehold of this series and go up 3-1? That is alarming to me. Denver had 6 fast break points the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. They had 3 fast break points all of last game. It was that Kawhi turnover to Murray to start the game, where then Christian Brown had a putback on the other end after Murray missed it, where I was just like, I don't love that. It just seemed careless, lackadaisical, far from put on the throat of your opponent that you just beat by 34. So I keep saying, like, people were talking about, they won by 34. This is such a mismatch. This series is over. How many of y'all were telling me that yesterday? And I kept saying, pump the brakes. Y'all were looking at OKC and thinking about that series. Adam, can the Clippers beat OKC? OKC? It's 2-2. And Denver has home court for a best out of 3. The Clippers, at the end of the first quarter, had just an inexcusable lapse in judgment on a Harden full court pass with 1.9 seconds left to Ivica Zubac on the other end of the court to try to get an easy bucket. Jokic was on him. It wouldn't have been easy to end the first quarter. It sails over his head and out of bounds. Now it's Denver's ball with 1.9 seconds left. I was already shaking my head and continued to as I saw Jokic hit a 30-foot three-pointer to end the first quarter with little resistance. And it's 27-22 Denver heading into the second. And I have no idea where the Clippers' heads were at. It just didn't look like the same team that we saw in Game 3. 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Strange shot selection at times. But to just give away 3 points at the end of a quarter like that, and more importantly, get Jokic going. I said to myself right then, and I told the guys off air, like, I don't like what I'm seeing from Jokic. Like, he low-key looks great so far. He didn't have some stretch where he scored 6 straight or anything like that, so it didn't stand out. And he only had 6 points in the first quarter, but he was 3 of 4. And he was starting to bully in the paint. And yes, they would get some calls. But in the first quarter, they didn't take a free throw. They attempted 12 in the second. But Jokic looked comfortable. And I'm telling you, when he hit that shot, in the game you lose by 2, and he hits that three-pointer at the end of the first quarter, Jokic said to himself, I'm good. I'm feeling good now. Didn't like that. Didn't like that one bit. They let Jokic get back into this series. They let Denver get back into this series instead of handling business here. They didn't come out with the right mindset. From what I saw, those 5 turnovers in the first quarter, lackadaisical, sloppy basketball. Harden not being aggressive offensively. Why? Nobody else was cooking. Why not you? You look at this team in the fourth quarter and the way they executed versus the first three. Where was that? Why did it take them getting down by 22, down by 20 heading into the fourth, for the real Clippers to show up? I don't get it. Disappointing, demoralizing loss to lose in that fashion after you battle back, but you never should have been down by 22 in this game. The Clippers let up. And Denver, they're up off the mat now. They're feeling great now. Who's got momentum now? Y'all kept acting like this series was over to me. Well, it's a brand new series. It's a best out of 3, and Denver has home court advantage. Game 5 in Denver Tuesday night. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to your phone calls and more. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on the Patriot AM 1150. I need to watch the play about 10,000 more times, guys, but I think it's the right call. I don't know if you can overturn that. Harden is boxing out Christian Brown. Norman Powell's boxing out nobody. This might be on Norman Powell more than Harden. Powell ain't boxing out anybody. Now he's hanging out towards Michael Porter Jr. I think the real question is, and I hope Coach Lou was asked about it. I'm sure he was post game, and I'm looking for that. But why not have Batum in the game late? Or Ben Simmons? I don't get it. Some people are calling it the value oop. It feels like that. I guess that's appropriate. Clippers were leading in that game. This was, they miss, it goes to overtime. So frustrating. Should not have happened. I just don't know how it gets to that point anyways. Credit the Clippers for battling back, but what took so long to run high pick and roll? What's the adjustment that they made? I know Bogey was out there, okay? Why did it take so long? Clippers have had some heartbreaking losses in the playoffs over the last 5 years. The alley-oop, Luka's buzzer beater in the bubble, and now Aaron Gordon with a putback dunk to win it for the Denver Nuggets in Game 4 and flip this series back to being dead even at 2-2, back to the Denver Nuggets having home court for the best out of 3. That's what this series has turned into. So we'll be back in Denver for Game 5. Coach Lou apparently post-game said the Clippers went early with 16 seconds left instead of draining clock because they were down 2 and wanted to protect against not scoring and possibly needing a foul if Denver got a stop. Yeah, they got the bucket to tie the game. It looked like the same play they ran in Game 1 to tie the game. This time Harden missed. Zoo was there for the tip in. Aaron Gordon blew a dunk in Game 2 and gets the game-winning dunk here in Game 4. Unbelievable. Sean in Inglewood, You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslem. What's up, Sean? Yeah. I'm really shocked you waited till tonight to call in. Uh-huh. I mean, do you want me to go back to game 2? I could reference a game from a couple days ago. To say that we've never seen anything good out of Kawhi at the elbow is crazy, Sean. We just saw it. I mean, it just won him he just won the game in game 2 on the right elbow. What are we talking about? I hope so. I appreciate the phone call, Sean. Good to hear from you. I just don't know what's it going to take to get up for a ball game. It's a playoff game. You're into a dome. The crowd is into it. I don't know why the Clippers were so slow to engage. I don't know why it took being down 20 heading into the fourth quarter for them to play faster. They were playing noticeably faster. They were executing so much better. Kawhi is dunking now. Got that steal on Jamal Murray for the two-handed dunk. Went right for another dunk. Like Kawhi and Harden woke up out of nowhere after sleepwalking into this game. Where was the urgency? Where? I don't understand it. I'm still looking to see if anybody asked Coach Lou about personnel in the final possession. Law Murray's bringing up the same stuff that I was talking about now with the end of the first quarter, that three-pointer by Jokic. Now, I should say, Ivica Zubac was there. It was well defended, but that was throwing the ball away with 1.9 seconds left at the end of the first quarter so carelessly. I hated what I saw early on in this ballgame. I could not stand the way the Clippers were playing. They just were sleepwalking out there. I haven't said that a lot this season. They've been much better to start games. But with a huge opportunity like this, I wanted them to come out of the gates flying because maybe you could break Denver if you actually started this game the right way after beating them by 34. Maybe you could put them away early with all the guys banged up with them and Jokic yelling on the court side and them looking to be in disarray, looking for answers. And instead, the Clippers just gave them life. And they knew it. They knew they can't come out like that. I heard Coach Lou say it pregame. They knew how they were supposed to come out, and they just didn't. Was it the start time? Are they fatigued? They didn't look fatigued in the fourth quarter. I just didn't feel like they were awake yet. But it is extremely disappointing that they lost a game like this in that fashion. Cool, you woke up late. They almost had a miraculous comeback. Has anybody come back down 20 to start the fourth quarter in playoff history? I don't think the Clippers were down 20 when they started that fourth quarter. I know against Memphis in game 1 in 2012, and I don't think they were down 20. I think it was within like 18 or 16 against Golden State in the 31-point comeback. What took so long? Why didn't you play like that earlier? Why didn't you just run more high pick and roll earlier? Ball movement was pretty non-existent, but I don't understand. I have to go back and watch the entire game, but I felt like offensively, I don't know. They weren't trusting. They weren't going with the game plan. Maybe they were tired. It was extremely physical early on, and then all of a sudden in the second quarter, they started calling some ticky-tack stuff when Kawhi was on Aaron Gordon. That was weird. I didn't like that. The refs all of a sudden just hit the brakes on the physicality and said, we're going to call some minimal contact stuff when we just let guys destroy each other in the first quarter. I think that's part of the reason you got the kerfluffle at the end of the half with 6 seconds left, where the Clippers are down by 2. James Harden didn't like a foul from Christian Brown. He got into it with him. Aaron Gordon comes over. Now Norm Powell's into it. Ivica Zubats, Jokic. I thought that was going to get them going in the third quarter. Instead, the Clippers, they got down big. Down 20 heading into the fourth. It was a 2-point game at the half. I thought they were lucky to be down by 2 at the half. And their offense just completely stalled out even more in the third quarter, putting up just 17 points. But where were Kawhi and James Harden in the third? How does one of them not take the game into their hands with it being that close? That's what I'm scratching my head about. Is it just make or miss stuff? Or were they not being aggressive enough? Were they not running enough high pick and roll? Was Denver's defense that good? I didn't feel like that. I felt like the Clippers were just absolutely lethargic out there. Clippers lose this one in heartbreaking fashion, echoing the Valley Oop from Phoenix, the Lucas shot with Dallas in the bubble. But should they have been down by 20 heading into the fourth? No, that's my point. Get it going earlier. Your 2 top guys can't be that bad for 3 quarters. Felt like the game was there to be taken. Instead, Nikola Jokic, slowly but surely, just was putting together a huge game for himself. We waited for it. Tonight he had it. 36, 21 boards, 8 assists. He had 30 points the final 3 quarters. I'm telling you, that 3-pointer to end the first quarter, something clicked in for Jokic then. He said, yep, I got it going. It's my night. He went 3 of 6 from the outside. Clippers lose 101-99. Take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to your phone calls. 877-520-1150. 877-520-1150 is the phone number. And yeah, Norm and James Harden both being out there, guys. Did anyone ask Coach Lue about it? You got to ask the question, right? I'm looking post-game audio. Coach Lue did say about the Aaron Gordon game-winning dunk, quote, things we've talked about for 5 years, offensive rebounds, Joker shot an air ball. Gordon made a hell of a play. It is what it is. Somebody came in here early, Himothy, was like, blame everyone but Coach Lue. I talked about it immediately after the game. I've been talking about it. You can't give... if the idea there is, oh, in case they take the shot early, we'll get it back. No, you got to play defense there. You got to have more defenders out there. I don't understand that. Maybe I'm missing something, but Coach Lou obviously forgotten more basketball than I'll ever know. I just don't understand. You don't have more guys to box out there, bigger players. It doesn't mean they necessarily win. It's going to overtime, but you give yourself a chance with 5 minutes and you have all the momentum. I'm on Lou when it's appropriate to be on Lou. How about that? It's called being fair. I don't blame him for them coming out slow when I heard him say pregame how they need to come out, and James Harden and Kawhi were just stuck in mud. Clippers lose on an Aaron Gordon putback as Jokic was wide left on his three-pointer to win the game. Instead, it was Aaron Gordon tipping it in. It was off his fingertips in time as the backboard went red to signify the end of regulation, and the Clippers would come out losing 101-99 here at Intuit Dome. And now we'll be going to Game 5, Tuesday night in Denver, tied up at 2 games apiece. Let's go to Morris in Inglewood. Morris, you're on Clippers Talk without a Muslim. What's up, Morris? I wouldn't call it a mighty good game. I know Terrence Mann was in the building tonight, but what do you mean who the world champions are? Denver won 2 years ago. The Boston Celtics are the world champions. Morris, why were they down 22 to a team they just beat by 34? Okay. All right, Morris, I appreciate the phone call. I'm not listening to the Clippers are in a damn good spot tonight. I'm sorry. I appreciate your optimism, but a damn good spot will be up 3-1, not tied 2-2 and giving home court advantage back. I can only take so much positivity. I got to dip the show in reality to some degree here, as my friend JT the Brick would say. I can't say they're in a damn good spot. Denver just took back home court. It's a best of 3. So let's try another call here. Jeffrey in Phoenix, home of the Valley Oop. Jeffrey, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk. What adjustment? They've done that. They've done that a ton throughout this series, Jeffrey. They've left Chris Dunn. This wasn't the first game they started leaving Chris Dunn open. I mean, come on. That's okay. So they didn't make them pay for doing something they've been doing the entire series. That's not a new adjustment. Okay. I mean, that's fair. They probably were more in sync. I appreciate the phone call. I got to take a quick time out. That was Jeffrey in Phoenix. He thought the double teams came faster from Denver on Kawhi and James Harden. I mean, they've been doing that all series. I don't know. I know Chris Dunn had a bad shooting game. He was probably due. The Clippers, though, I just did not like the sloppy play in the first quarter with 5 turnovers and looking lethargic out there on the offensive end. The lack of ball movement. I mean, guess what? They double. That means somebody's open. They made Denver pay every time for that in game 3. They didn't in this game. Quick timeout. We'll come back. 877-520-1150. 877-520-1150. Clippers lose 101-99 here at Into a Dome in game 4 as we're tied up at 2 games apiece. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on the Patriot AM 1150. What's the conversation going on in the chat right now? Must be some new people here because you can't hear the callers when I'm Into a Dome. If I'm in Burbank post game, you can hear the callers. I'll do some Clippers Talk after dark coming up, but it's going to take me 40 minutes to get back to Burbank. I don't know. Maybe I could just hang out here for a bit, but I want to hear Coach Lou. I want to hear everything that was asked post game. MPJ had a good game and hit some big shots. Yes, he did. He had 17. Christian Brown getting 17 worries me even more. He hit a huge three-pointer to put him up by 16 in the third. And I thought that was big for him because he was only 1 for 7, but he hit that three. Jamal Murray is 5 of 17 in this game, and they lost. They got 4 points off the bench, and they lost, and the Clippers lost. Denver had Jamal Murray go 5 of 17, and they got 4 points from their bench, and they still beat the Clippers in this game. That's just, if Kawhi or James Harden has a good game, I think they win. Kawhi did get hot in the fourth. He also missed 2 3-pointers, but it was too little too late. They did all their damage after they were down 20. What took so long? I don't understand. Bogey did help spread the floor. He was 3 of 7, had 7 points, 1 of 2, and he was out there when they made their run. Clippers trailed by as many as 22 just to have it tied with 8 seconds left. But unfortunately, an errant 3 from Nikola Jokic would end up in the hands of Aaron Gordon for a putback dunk that had to be reviewed. I thought live, ball was still on his fingertips, but it was so close, I don't think you could overturn it. And I haven't seen any conclusive evidence from Clippers fans that said that would show that the ball was still in his hands. Them's the breaks. You leave yourself open to stuff like that when you get down by as many as 22. And the series is tied up at 2 games apiece, with game 5 being back in Denver on Tuesday night. Best out of 3, with the Denver Nuggets having home court advantage back. Let's go back out to a couple of phone calls. Alfonso in San Dimas. Alfonso, give me 30 seconds so I can get to the rest of these calls. Alfonso, what's up? I noticed. I've been talking about it. Thanks, Alfonso. I noticed that Nico Batum wasn't out there. I noticed that Ben Simmons wasn't out there. I noticed. It was Norman Powell and James Harden underneath the basket. I haven't heard that being brought up post game to Coach Lou. Appreciate the phone call, Alfonso. Justin in Sherman Oaks. Justin, you're on Clipper Stock with Adam Moslin after our heartbreaking loss. What's up, Justin? I agree with you. Justin, I agree with you. They finally engaged in battle. That was playoff basketball finally in the fourth quarter. No. This team, I don't know if they were tired, weird start time, whatever, but there's just no excuse. It's a playoff game and you got a chance to go up 3-1. So that's where I'm at with it. Justin, I appreciate the phone call. I just got to get through these calls here before we get out. Alan in Silver Lake. Alan, what do you got? Well, little things late, but I'd say big things early are what killed them, you know? Yeah. They didn't look more tired. They looked more energized. The Clippers were down by 22 before they started to engage in this game and run their offense in the fourth quarter. That's when they started to get desperate after Jokic floater put them up 22. I appreciate the phone call, Alan. I don't know why the Clippers looked the way they did coming out in this ball game. I guess you credit Denver to some degree, but I felt like I could see it. The Clippers didn't have the same pop, the same juice out there. They weren't moving the same way. They weren't as quick. I, I noticed it immediately. Kawhi, Harden, not being nearly as aggressive. And if they're getting doubled, there is a man open. They've been doubled plenty in this series, but the ball movement was better. Not tonight. It was brutal. They had 14 assists. Excuse me, that was at the half. Okay, it wasn't exactly that bad. They finished with 25. Heading into the third quarter is really the part of the game I'm talking about. I know they clicked in finally in the last 10 minutes of the ball game, but they weren't good enough and they put themselves in a position to be down by 22 early in the fourth. Rick in Malibu. Rick, what's up here on Clippers Talk? Rick in Malibu. I got you, Rick. What's up? I got you, Rick. I hear you. I know, Rick. Oh, So that like 20-minute conversation we had, you think? Yep. I know the MO with this team in afternoon games. I just don't care. That's what's tired to me. That is an excuse. If you have so many afternoon games, then you should probably be used to playing in the afternoon. What? How can it be an excuse? Yeah, yeah. I agree. Harden's lack of aggression was alarming to me in this game. Rick, I appreciate the phone call and I appreciate you being a big man and admitting you were wrong. You're my guy still. Before we get out of here, Richard in LA. Richard, you're on Clipper Stock with Adam Osland. Dick, are you there? No, Richard. Uh, Matt in Hawaii. Matt, aloha. Harden makeup game. I like it. I like the positivity on the way out. He and Kawhi Leonard have to be much better. I expect them to be. Win game 5, find a way, and then you got another chance. Hear it into a dome, and that would be. We at least have another game here at Into a Dome. I'm hoping it's with an opportunity to close out the series. This was a tough, disheartening loss by a Clippers team that just I don't understand it, but for whatever reason in this ball game, I'll put it like this. One team started desperate, the other team waited till they got down by 22. Clippers came into this game and looked like we know we're better. We'll be able to figure it out as the game goes along. We don't have to play that hard right now. They didn't have the focus they did in game 3. Playing from behind in a good Jokic game is a tough game to win. Clippers lose on a game winner, not by Jokic, but by Aaron Gordon with the putback dunk, 101 to 99. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez, Big Brother Jake Warner, head engineer here at Into a Dome, Daniel West back in Burbank. I'm Adam Moslin. We will talk to you on Tuesday. Y'all, I'll be back in Burbank in 45, and we'll have Clippers talk after dark.